it's Frankie-Lou. I'm here today with my new good friend Becca, who is an amazing permaculture gardener, and she has just very kindly offered to come out and help me with our trees today. So we're going to be learning about how to keep these trees healthy with some appropriate pruning. All right, so we'll show you what we're going to do and be back in a minute.
That stuff that we pulled out of here, you can see there's a few bits and ends of life, but the majority of this is dead. There are a few bits and ends in here that we could still continue to take out, but as we have stepped back and looked at the tree, we can now see there's more light, right? A lot of what we were kind of looking at was in fact dead. So we're now ready, now that we're not going to get poked in the eye by a dead branch, we're now ready to sort of assess, so who is crossing over, where are those wounds forming, and where are we actually seeing black knot? So in the interest of not yuckying up our tools, we're now going to go after the stuff that is rubbing and has potential open wounds. And then after that, we'll then go after the black knot. I believe the fire is almost going. Once that's going, we're literally going to walk that black knot over and we're going to put it in the fire. This is the only real way to dispose of this.
They don't even want you putting it in the city compost.
Oh gosh,
right?
no. Well, because it won't die. Like those spores will just be, and then someone else inherits your black knot. Let's not do that. Same thing with rust. Same thing with oyster scale, folks. Like burn it, please. Have a bonfire, get a keg, but burn it.
Okay, and that's
we're now on the interior of the tree, and we have these two limbs that are rubbing against each other. So they both now already have an open wound, which means at some point they're going to get sick with something or other. So my choice here is to go, okay, so where am I going to cut on both of these to make this make sense? So as I look at this limb, there's already a lot of other stuff that's happening in here that is really healthy and happy. This already has a problem, and all of the leafing part is above the wound. So I'm actually going to come back to the base of the leader.
Okay.
And I'm going to cut it from here.
Wow.
And I'm going to do this on an angle because I don't want moisture to settle in the wound.
Okay.
And making sure your tools are clean and sharp means you're going to make a clean, sharp cut.
So what we didn't witness is when Becca and Kat got here, they spent some time sharpening their tools prior to starting any of this.
You want a really nice clean cut, and you want to do it on an angle. I don't want that moisture gathering on that cut.
Okay.
So that's our number one cut.
And now you can see where.
Now we can see where this wound is. It actually doesn't look as bad now that we've taken that other piece out, but I'm just kind of...
How far down do you
think? Oh, but then it's rubbing against two other spots above it. So we are going to take it. So let's look at these limbs. This guy is right out here. It's looking really happy and healthy, kind of sticking out. It's really open and wide. I like this limb. Looks really good. This guy looks like he's going to be bumping into these guys at some point.
So you're going to go between the two?
Yeah, I'm going to go between
And
these.
on an angle, right?
And on an angle, exactly.
Okay.
Now when I cut, I'm going to get this right into the back jaws of this.
Yes.
That's the sharpest space.
And
when I push this down, that's the money spot. That's where we really want to be.
Okay.
And I want to make sure I'm not getting anybody else involved in this cut. And again, look at that.
Yeah. Okay.
That peeled down a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, so as I'm looking up in here, I can see a few other bits and odds and ends where it's gonna be rubbing this small guy. This one's got a pretty good sized wound on it.
Right.
So we're gonna actually take him above this.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it does seem like we're taking a lot.
But it's potentially diseased wood you're removing.
Yeah, it's potentially diseased wood. You know we have black knot in the base.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a minute and assess the rest of this, see what other spots we want to take out, and then we'll come back to you guys and you can see the pile of wood.
Okay.
You want to try to do this when the tree is dormant. Right now, when it's leafing out and producing fruit, this is not the best time. I prefer to do all fruit trees when they're dormant. A few reasons as to why we prune. We prune when we have fruit trees, we prune to force them to produce more fruit. Google that. We prune to get rid of disease and pests, and we prune to shape the tree not only for our pleasure to look at, but for aesthetics. That's one aspect, but so that as we walk by it, right? So let's say you have 10 trees on your property, but you have minimal time to maintain them. In the spring, a solid 15 minutes of pruning on each one of those trees is going to save you a lot of time and heartache down the road. So as we walked by this originally, we really had to get up close to see what was going on in there. Now, once we get the grass cleared away and those final black knot loaded limbs, we're going to be able to really see. So as we look at this, we can kind of get a general sense of how healthy it is. Are there issues? And we can do that just by walking by.
Right.
And ultimately, that's what we want.
Right.
Go. So now we're taking a look at our pile. As you can see, we've added a decent amount of green stuff, which I'm actually going to separate so that Angus here can get to the
Dry stuff for burning.
Stuff. But you can see we really didn't take out that much, right? I think 1, 2, 3.
It felt like a lot when we were
4.
doing it, but now when you look at it compared to the tree,
right, we took 4
it's not
limbs
that
out.
much.
There's one more section of dead stuff that we're gonna take out. I really got to kind of monkey in there and get it. But other than that, like, this is all we've taken out from this tree.
Right.
And now we can see what's going on in here. It's way healthier. It's way happier. The fruit set on here now, because it's not putting as much energy into the whole tree, right? We took all this stuff. The fruit set will probably be a little bit heavier, meaning the fruit themselves will be bigger and fatter, right? Because it's taking all that nutrients and moisture and putting it into what's still on the tree.
Awesome.
We could clean this up a bit more if we wanted to.
But you know me, and you know I like it looking natural.
Yeah, we want it looking natural. We are going to take off some more stuff in the base that has the actual black knot, but we'll come back and we'll show you that. Okay, so we're now ready. The fire is nice and hot.
Yep.
Young Squire over here has gotten the fire getting hot.
He's doing it good.
We're now going to cut out the black knot sections of this, and I'm literally going to cut the piece, walk over to the fire, and put it in.
Yeah.
So Frankie, when I get down in here, I'm going to ask you to come down so we can show everybody what this looks like. So black knot literally looks like dog poop on a stick.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not something that you'll ever be like, oh, that looks fine. Like, it doesn't ever look fine. Okay.
Doesn't it sort of look like it's burnt already too?
Yeah, it does look like it's burnt, and you'll notice that it'll literally kill the whole limb. So it's on this piece.
Yes.
But then look, the rest of this is also dead.
So it should come too.
So the whole thing is coming. So I'm gonna get down and get as close to the ground as possible. You hear that crack?
Yeah, that's the dead.
That's how dead it was.
Okay.
So yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that is not attractive.
Yep. So unfortunately, black knot affects the entire rose family. So that's most of our fruit trees. That's apples, cherries, apricots, peaches, the
Angus,
whole
don't
gamut.
put the green stuff in yet.
Yeah, this stuff is yucky. It's not like chaga where we could like, you know.
No, this is a fungus that isn't
This is a fungus we don't like.
Okay.
Okay, so in the interest of not having this.
There we go. And so we're burning that because we do not want to spread that fungus.
All right, so let's go grab the other bits. I think there was a total of maybe 4, 3.
There wasn't much.
There wasn't much, which is key. This is a good thing that we've caught it early. This means that it likely won't spread through the whole tree.
Good.
But
I'm really glad you saw it, because honestly, I had no idea, because the tree was so dense.
yeah, we couldn't really see what was going on down here.
It took you and Kat to see it.
All right, so in here, got this sweet combination of alcohol, Myers Cleaning Day soap, and some dormant oil, kind of all mixed together.
Okay.
And I'm actually just gonna literally liberally spray my whole tool like that.
Okay.
I do have a wiping thing in the car. The reason I'm doing that is
You don't want to spread that disease.
I don't want to spread that disease. So one of the bigger issues that we have right now is that landscapers often, they don't know what it is. They know it's gross, but they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And they'll literally just load it up into the back of the truck with everything else.
Right.
Or run it through a chipper shredder.
Right.
And then either bring it to the city compost site or
sell it to
deliver it to you in a
Yeah.
chip drop. So just be aware of that. Be aware that if you do have these issues on your property, either you should deal with it specifically,
eradicate it.
or have this conversation with your landscaper and make sure that they know what they're dealing with. Let's not spread this worse
Yeah.
than we need to. Okay, so here's that other section And again, this thing is really disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm getting down all the way to the base.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you caught that, Becca.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty, hey? On a piece of plastic, like you don't have to walk it all over one at a time. You can put it on a piece of plastic.
But the fire's right here, man.
And let it sit there.
Yeah.
But the fire's right here.
Yeah.
I like reusing my plastic, so
Yeah.
it's best not to get any yuckiness on it.
There's still a couple more pieces of black knot before you start putting the green stuff on, Angus.
Yeah, we just make sure it's super alive, but we get to the bottom of it and it's got a really big chunk. So anything that's like really low to the ground where there's very little air movement, it's really moist. That's why often we see like we'll prune the bottom foot or so it's real clean, and then that way we know that we don't have extra stuff kind of clinging to it.
Because there was no indication.
No indication above this.
Because look at that, how clean and healthy that looks.
Yeah.
But that's the worst piece that we've seen.
We do
so
have
far.
some rub spots here and here, so I think that this probably rubbed against something, and then that was with the opener. So there's no indication above this. We really want to poke around.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like, especially here in Alberta, it's so dry. Having grass here, keeping moisture on the soil, keeping this shaded is a really important thing to keep these roots nice and moist. But at the same time, like kind of pulling some of this stuff away so that we can actually see into this, that's also okay too. I'm not advocating that we mow underneath our trees. I think that's a horrible idea, but it is a good idea to kind of every once in a while get in there and see what's
poke
going
around.
on. Kat,
Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. I know it was immensely helpful to me. If you live in the Calgary area and would like to benefit from all of Becca's fabulous expertise, her contact information is in the description for this video. And also, Becca, you teach courses, don't you?
I do. I'm teaching several courses up at Goodnoe Community Farm up near Edmonton this summer. I've got a really great lasagna bed and hugelkultur bed course that I'm teaching in July. And then in August, we're doing a 2-day permaculture teacher course that's ideal. We'll have childcare for that one. And we're doing an 8-day permaculture design course that includes camping and food at a really reasonable rate. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in learning and checking out, please do so.
And as you know, I'm a big sucker for learning stuff, and when I'm with Becca, I just feel like a sponge. So I can't imagine how much you would learn at one of these courses.
I have so much fun teaching. I love it. It's so much fun.
And as always, subscribe if you're interested in seeing some of the other fun stuff that's going on around here. And make sure you take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.